This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon and welcome back to another edition of Edmonton Oilers discussion here on the channel today. A fine, great day. If I could get the lighting in the room to work properly with green screen and the jersey and all that, and we'd be good and dandy and ready to go for a reverse retro game night for the Oilers versus the Vancouver Canucks at 8 p.m. this evening. Now, it's a tough decision. Do I go into a game preview or do I leave that for a live stream? Oh, I don't know, say about 7:30 and let's go through to the first period. I don't know. One of the two. I'm not sure how to crack that one down and get that done, but we'll discuss Adam Larsson instead, all right? We'll go Adam Larsson in this video, and the fact that, yeah, we're sitting here on two major UFAs for the Oilers. Well, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Adam Larsson, guys that we're not sure what's going on contract-wise. We at least know the Oilers and Nuge have talked an extension at some point, and all is hunky-dory, hopefully, and Nuge stays an Oiler for life. But what we learned today via the fourth period, which is an online organization as far as I understand. I'm still not 100% sure. I need to get up to date on who knows what out there in hockey land. But David Pagnotta of the fourth period had a little bit of a story update on Adam Larsson, the Oilers' other big UFA that we know about, and the fact that there have been no extension talks yet, and it doesn't appear that there are plans for extension talks between Ken Holland and Adam Larsson as of yet. Now, this is, as Oilers Nation very easily pointed out in their article, is not a surprise by anyone's expectations, right? You talk about Ethan Bear, you talk about Evan Bouchard in the system, now you talk about other guys coming up, maybe, I don't know, guys in the system, who am I trying to think of? There's guys in the system that we got coming up. Oh, I don't know, Philip Kemp, right? A guy that is currently in Sweden. Nobody's heard of him in the past 2 months, but he's a guy that exists within the Oilers organization, and I promise you that he's a guy that will very well develop if given the right time. So you talk about the line of succession in the Oilers defense, and especially if indeed Caleb Jones proves worthwhile the rest of this season, as he may draw in the lineup tonight, but if he proves worthwhile the rest of the season as a Chris Russell light type player who's capable of playing the right side, you then have three right side players in Bear, Bouchard, and Jones. Stop me if you've heard that on Bakersfield before, but right is there's a situation that could be a possibility for the Oilers. Now, if I can hop over to Cap Friendly, guys, my brain has been fried for the best part of the past month here trying to keep track of the Oilers. So go into the system here and just talk about guys in the system for the Oilers. You've got, a Philip Berglund, a Philip Kemp, the two Phillips in the system. Oh, don't forget about the third Philip Broberg, who could complicate things and necessitate the need to move over Caleb Jones from the left side to the right side if he gets past Seattle in the expansion draft and all that fun stuff. And then you go to the reserve list as well and talk about who else is there on the reserve list for the Edmonton Oilers. You've got guys like Matthew Carnes in the system as draft picks. Matthew Carnes, who's due for a contract August 15th, 2021. You've got Michael Kesselring, who all of a sudden, right, similar to, Carter Savoy when he got hot, you're starting to hear a lot about Michael Kesselring, the 21-year-old right-hand defenseman, right? We're starting to hear about him. And don't forget that as well, there's the possibility that you draft a stud in the draft and he steals a job in camp, or you just go out and sign a different free agent. That's where this all gets different. And you know what? Yeah, talk about Bear, Bouchard, Jones, Kesselring, Kemp. That's great. That's the future of the defense. All the while, we're talking about Larsson not being signed, but why are we not talking about Barrie? Well, Barrie simply comes into this equation as the offensive defenseman. So kind of the counter polar opposite of what Adam Larsson is meant to do, as Oilers Nation mentioned in their article, elite shutdown defenseman, which he has not fully panned out to be. So you've got this situation in which the Oilers should have room to add an elite shutdown defenseman, and if not, you want to give that chance in the lineup to one of your guys that's going to grow with this organization. That's why I say Jones. Barrie, the jury's still out, right? The jury very well could turn against Barrie at any point. There's a lot of Oilers fans that are just waiting for that one bad goal to just kick them right out of town, because heaven forbid you have two defensemen in the top whatever 5, 6 of defense scoring in the NHL for once in the past 15, 40, 50 years, whatever it may be, since Paul Coffey and whoever last did it for the Oilers. But right, you've got that situation. And then you've also got, right, the Adam Larsson counter opposite. Do you need to add a shutdown defenseman? Is there a market for an elite shutdown defenseman? Do you have the cap space for an elite shutdown defenseman if you ship out $4 million of cap space of Adam Larsson and don't re-sign Tyson Barrie and blah, 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 blah down the line, right? And of course, don't forget Ethan Bear is going to be due, and like there's going to be things to be done this offseason with the defense for sure. So, I mean, Ethan Bear, I know he signed a 2-year contract, but as it currently sits, right, you got Darnell Nurse. He'll be on an expiring contract going into 2021. I mean, Ethan Bear's on an expiring contract going into 2021. 2021, 2022. What do you do with Oscar Klefbom? Everybody except for Barrie and Larsson are expiring the year after, except Evan Bouchard. I mean, Chris Russell, he's probably not going to be here. So there's a lot of cap committed on the defense still yet next year. So how much room you have to go out and sign a big guy is kind of to be determined. But at the same rate, you also have to set up the future. And that right side is starting to look, for once in the Oilers organization's history here, as far as I've been a fan, a little bit crowded. And that's a good thing. That's a very welcome thing. I'm very happy for that. So, there we go. Should be out of the way now. No, there we go. So yeah, so that's a good thing. And of course, you got the situation with the left-hand side too. Oscar Klefbom and William Lagesson and Caleb Jones in that mix too. And you've got Philip Broberg. So there's a lot of reasons. Like that's... Right now, I've already boiled down about 6.5 minutes of reasons why there should be no talks with Adam Larsson. The problem is, you've also got kind of all of a sudden a need for Adam Larsson based on what's going on with the lineup at current and based on what he's doing for the Oilers as of the past 10 games that we've been really freaking hot, right? We've been rolling since Adam Larsson got his job together and the whole defense as a group decided to be capable of doing what they're capable of doing. As I've said earlier in the season, this defense is capable if they choose to be capable, which they have the past several games. Now, here's the problem. Do you trade Adam Larsson at the deadline just because you haven't had extension talks? No. In this scenario I'm dreaming up right now, is Adam Larsson is probably perhaps your best rental player you can go out and get in the market, and he will be the cheapest because he costs nothing because he's already with you, right? In that weird quasi market where everybody's talking about, well, if we're making the playoffs, we need to stack up. But at the same rate, you've got a UFA you haven't had any extension talks with. Well, that generally means you're selling them off. But if you're in the rental market for a UFA to help bolster your cup run, do you not just not spend anything and just keep your guy and run him in the playoffs? And if both sides feel some mutual interest in the offseason, then you talk. But if you don't, all good, all great, don't worry about it, and hopefully you've got a cup in tow. That's what I'm saying. That's where I'm going with this whole thing is, you know what? We already have all the reasons in the world not to re-sign Adam Larsson. But based on the last 10 games, we have all the reasons in the world to keep Adam Larsson, an Edmonton Oiler, through the playoffs. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. Thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon. We'll have hopefully the pregame stream or else the live stream of the first period and then intermissions, or we'll go do something crazy tonight. I'm sure of it. No game review though, I guarantee that, because it's an 8 o'clock game, and dang, I got to get my sleep and get my butt to work tomorrow because we got a hard day. All right? Hard days at work all the time. I'm Tyson. This is Dolynny TV. Ladies and gentlemen, have yourself a great supper dinner hour, and I will catch you around 7:30 to fire up that stream. I am up on out of here.